Hello, bookworms, bibliophiles, and lovers of all things literature. Welcome to the next chapter of the Braless Book Guild podcast, where we discard our bras and catch up with each other to talk about books both published and unpublished. We are your hosts, Jenna.
Hi, guys.
I'm Marissa, and this is Megan.
Hello. Also, great job on the intro.
I did it!
You did it.
I didn't read it. We've been doing this for a long time now, guys.
You're a real professional now.
I am. I don't need a prompter or anything. But before we get started and going into it too much, what are we all drinking today, Megan?
I'm drinking your Goddess of War tea with a little bit of honey, and it's really good.
Yeah, I think we say that all the time, but it is good. It's highly recommended.
Yeah.
I'm going light today. I'm having a green tea. It's genmaicha, which is a green tea with toasted brown rice, and it has a nice nutty flavor. It's one of my favorites.
And we are recording in the morning today, so figured I'd have my Irish breakfast tea, since we had donuts and I was having breakfast. So
It's a good staple.
yeah, it's a good go-to, and I need caffeine.
Also, it's, for the first time in like 10 days, under 100 degrees outside while we're
Yeah.
So we actually get to enjoy the nice warm teas with our donuts.
I think it also helps that we're recording in the morning before it gets to 100 degrees.
Yeah,
so.
it's definitely going to be 100 degrees today.
Yeah.
But right now it's not.
Heat waves.
Yeah, recording in the evening is very limiting with what we can drink.
Mm-hmm.
No caffeine
Caffeine-wise, yeah.
and lots of ice.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
At least until we get into fall.
Oh, yes. As much as I love summer, because it is my favorite season technically, I am looking forward to fall.
Oh, no. My favorite season's always been winter, but I would rather be really cold than really hot.
Oh, I have chronic anemia, so I can't handle cold.
I just need fall, always. And I
Frumpy
don't...
sweaters.
Yes, I want to be from about September to December. That's my favorite time of year.
I just stick to October. It's my birthday.
October is a great month.
It is.
Are we not going to talk about April? Is it April 25th or April 28th?
The best
date.
It's not too warm.
The perfect
it's not
date.
Too cold.
The perfect date.
All you need is a light sweater.
I got to go home and watch that movie now.
That's
a good
such a good movie.
Any Sandra Bullock movie.
For those that don't know, it is Miss Congeniality, featuring the amazing Sandra Bullock.
If you don't know, you probably live under a rock and you probably don't listen to our podcast.
I have not seen a Sandra Bullock movie that I do not like.
What was it? The one where she was obsessed with him. All About
Steve? Okay.
Oh, I love
so that one was
It's
okay.
So funny.
But, so, bit of a spoiler alert on that one. When the deaf kids are running across the meadow, I laughed so hard.
I do not remember that movie
That was the
at all.
whole driving force of the end of the movie where they had to go save them from the sinkhole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I laughed so hard, but I'm a terrible person, so.
We love you anyway.
Yeah.
So, anyways, getting into today's topic. Since we're halfway through the year, we thought we'd do a bit of a catch-up episode, see where we are all at, especially based off of the first episode that we did. Megan and I kind of went over it a little bit this morning already and have laughed at our goals that we made at the beginning of the year. Some of them we completed, some of them we did not.
It was similar to the end of Divine Rivals.
Oh yeah, when we
listened to the end of that and our expectations for Ruthless Vows, it was similar vibes.
Oh no.
But we are halfway through the year, so we still have half a year to
We can prove
make up
ourselves. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're kind of all just checking in on that and kind of seeing what our previous 7 months, I guess technically now, 6.5, have been like. So, do we want to start with where are we at based off of our beginning episode? Or do we want to start? Okay.
I don't even remember what I said, guys. What were my goals?
Don't worry. I wrote them down for you.
Thank God. I don't do my research. I have my sister do it for me.
Yep.
You come in here. What is your MBTI? Do you know?
I do. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. You
we
just
did
come
it a
in
long time
here in pure chaos.
I do, which is really funny because if you knew me before my kid, I probably wasn't that person. I was very, very organized and had a lot of anxiety. So I always had to overthink and overdo things. And now it's like, oh, look, I got away from my kid. I'm just going to wing it.
Children usurp everything.
Yes.
All right. Well then, Jenna, I'll start with your goals.
Oh God. Okay, let's go.
All right, Jenna. So books you wanted to read this year. Let's see if you've read them.
Okay.
The Fallen Kingdom series?
No.
All right. Book of Tea series?
No, that's the ones I gave you for Christmas.
Oh yeah, I haven't
A
read
Magic
those
Steeped
either.
in Poison and A Venom Dark and Sweet.
Nope. Negative.
You mentioned you wanted us all to read Gwen and Art Aren't in Love.
No.
That just came out though.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it came out
2 months ago, a month and a half ago.
yeah. So
it
we
just
have
came
time.
out.
We have time, guys. It's summer. Let's do it.
And then the one that I found really funny was at the beginning of the year, we talked about, well, of course, the books that we're planning on reading, like A Study in Drowning.
Yeah, my book changed. So I did not choose that one. We ended up changing my book for our traveling book annotation episode. I've got to come up with a great term for this that we can just, everyone
Sisterhood
knows.
of the Traveling Books.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Books. My one for that, we changed from A Study in Drowning to The Unmaking of June Farrow.
I'm literally holding it in my hands, looking at it right now on your comments.
Yeah. So, which I think was a better choice for the annotations. But yeah, obviously I didn't read that one.
Yeah. Like Under the Whispering Door, I think we all mentioned that because that was the next coming book.
Yes.
And then you just vaguely said stuff like non-viral books, underrated books, which I found very funny because one of Megan's goals was for us to do an underrated episode, which we just did.
Yeah. I've been working on that. I've been trying to find more and more underrated books. I do feel like I want to know what everyone's talking about. So I end up reading the ones that everyone's talking about, which there's a reason people are talking about them. They're very good usually. But yeah, I need more recommendations, guys. So if you guys know underrated books, please let me know them because I don't, a lot of the stuff that I don't have the time to dig deep. I don't have the time to walk around Barnes & Noble as much anymore with a child. If I do, he's going to take every single book off the shelf and it's not going to be a relaxing experience. So if you guys know underrated books, that's where I need my listeners to come in and tell me.
Yeah. And then your writing goals, are you prepared for that?
I can tell you right now, no. My writing goals.
Yours, the good news is that other than finish a novel, which I think we all had on our goal list, yours was you were looking for inspiration and you wanted to consistently do the critique group.
Yeah, we definitely are still doing our critique group, although I think that the summer has been really hard on our group in general, because there's just been a lot of stuff going on with all of us. So I'm glad that I thus far have only failed to submit writing once, I think. Could be wrong.
Twice.
I've failed to
Megan
submit.
will fact check you.
I'm looking at Megan here. But overall, I'm grateful that I have the group because it does keep me thinking about writing. And it's just a process of sitting down, which means that I'm generally finding a little more inspiration than I have been the last couple of years because I'm thinking about it more. Okay, get away from me. I'm done. All my answers are no.
All right, Megan, we went through yours, but let's do it on the podcast.
On the podcast.
All right, Megan, your first thing that you mentioned for your goal was that you have 143 books on your TBR and you want to get 70% through them. How you doing?
So I'm actually doing better than I did last year, which I think last year I had 120 books on my TBR that I slowly added to over the course of the year. And I only read 7 of those. I have like a checklist in my planner. The Always Fully Booked planner, by the way, is the best planner ever.
Hashtag not an ad, but could be.
But could be, hey, Megan Easter.
Yeah.
She and I are friends. So anyway, so I have gone through 33 of them. And I'm on book, I think 48 this year, 49. And so basically 33, what's 48 minus 33?
48 minus 33 is
15.
Yeah.
15 of those books were not on my TBR. So that is a significant improvement. So I am really proud of myself.
There you go.
So good job, Megan.
Good job, Megan. Also, side note, I really want, if we start making merch at one point in the future, to have merch that says hashtag not an ad, but could be.
Yes. I daydream about merch all the time, actually, because I just often think about how cute some things would be on shirts.
Yeah.
I will say, I started that, and I got it from Kit Boga, who is the scam baiter that I watch every day, and that is what he says almost every day. He's like, yeah, I really want to work with, like, this specific security company or cybersecurity company, hashtag not an ad, but could be, so I got it from him.
Stealing it.
Mm.
Well, he doesn't have merch of it, so we can technically do it.
So we have to go get the trademark.
Kit, please let us.
Don't be mad at us. You
Yes.
could come sit on our podcast for a minute. We could ask you what your favorite books are.
He actually is a very avid reader and does talk about reading a lot, so I would love that.
Nice.
He's very private, though, so obviously.
Oh, yeah. All right. So books that you mentioned. So Megan was very specific and said these books are coming out this year. So obviously there's a little caveat to it as far as like, hey, maybe this just came out or hasn't come out yet or whatever. So The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo.
I own it, but I have not read it.
All right. The Heart of the World by Amy Kaufman.
That came out literally last week, and I haven't had a chance to run to the bookstore because I was waiting for my very first paycheck. So I get it this Thursday, and that's what I plan to do on Friday.
Nice. Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Worlds.
I have it, and I read it.
There you go.
And I even got the Fairy Loot version as well.
Checked one off. Empire of the Damned by Jade Kristoff.
I own it. I got the Illumicrate version of that because I got the original Illumicrate version of Empire of the Vampire, and I have the second book, but I also have it on Audible because it is a hefty book.
Yeah.
And it is just heavy and massive. But I want to reread or re-listen to the first one and then hop into the second one. So that one's a dedication. So that's like a Christmas time thing.
There you go. But so those were the ones that you specifically named. You also, like I said, wanted to do an underrated episode.
And we did!
And we did it.
Woo!
Great job, team.
Hey.
Awesome. Why'd you say Christmas time? And I was like, all right, summer can be over. Let's cuddle up in sweaters. And it's like immediate. I'm like, Jenna, it's July.
And then your writing goals, Megan, was to start a critique group.
And we did.
Mm-hmm. Finish a novel.
Notice how I didn't say consistently? I just said we started it.
We started it. She kept her goals realistic.
I do. So technically, the novel that I'm working on is technically done. I think I talked about this in our episode a while back.
Yeah.
But a advice that I got from an agent was basically just add in the girl point of view because nobody wants to read from boys' point of views anymore. So I'm currently working on that, but I lost steam because it is a hefty project too.
Yeah.
Go back and edit stuff. But yeah, I am slowly chipping away at that, and I do hope by the end of the year that I will have that ready to go and start querying agents. And if I get any rejections, I plan on putting them up on my wall.
There you go.
That's how you do it.
Motivation. Yeah. And that was your other goal.
Yay!
The
So in progress.
In progress, which is what this is all about. Technically,
Yes.
all of this is in progress. It's not a we didn't do it, it's just we haven't done it yet.
Exactly.
Just gave me more homework and a much sooner deadline.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later.
So what about you, Marissa?
Okay, Marissa's goals were The Last Binding trilogy. No, I have not read it.
But it's completely done, right? There's only 3 books?
As far as I know,
Okay.
yes. When I looked this up at the beginning of the year of like books I want to read, I think it was done then, but I didn't do that much research.
Okay.
What I did was I was looking for books to read. I saw the second book and I wanted to read the second book, but then I was like, no, this is the second book of a trilogy. I'm
Right.
like, oh, okay, well, now I have to read the trilogy. Finish Cersei, which I have not done. Have not even picked it up. The Dead Romantics, so we can do our episode to... You guys tried to convince me to read it, so what do I think after you convinced me? I have not done that. But I should do that pretty soon. Honestly, I do want to get it done so that we can get that episode going. I think it's a good episode idea. But yeah, those were the only books that I had. All the rest of them were stuff that we were planning on reading anyways, like Under the Whispering Door and our books for the Exchange, the Jasmine Throne, all of that. My writing goals was just to edit what I already have, so that I feel comfortable sending it to you guys. And I have started editing. I've fallen off the last couple months, but I did start editing, and going back and editing has made me open up a bigger hole than I meant to, basically, with it, where I thought it was just gonna be like, okay, pick it apart, make it sound good, and I'm like, no, I have a better idea for it. And so
Ooh.
about halfway through the book, I had to change something that affects the last half of the book.
So basically rewrite the last
So basically, I'm rewriting the last half of the book.
half. Okay.
So, I did my goal, and I am still working on getting it to the point where I can send it to you guys, though.
I will say, one of my creative writing professors was saying how basically how you should write, which part of me agrees, part of me disagrees, is you write a book and then you hide it away under your mattress and then you rewrite it. And whatever you rewrote and remember from the first one is what's important to the story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So, but that's so much work.
That is a lot of work.
The thing that happened with me was that I wanted to give some characters a little bit more depth and connect the world a little bit more. And so when I was rereading it and editing it, I'm like, oh, this would actually be a really good takeaway from it and a reason why. So I ended up changing a character, not who they are fundamentally, but how they fit in the world.
Ooh.
And I was like, but now because I changed that, it changes the last half of the book completely.
Right.
So
Okay.
I had to go, and I'm still working on editing that and changing the last part of it.
I'm excited to see how this changes. And I'd like to, when your book comes out,
Mm-hmm.
to have a more in-depth discussion on the writing process, planning versus pantsing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. All right. So that's where we're at as far as where we wanted to be, what our goals were. And like I said, we didn't meet those goals. We are just still working on them.
It's a good reminder of the things that we said we wanted to do, because I, for one, forgot some of those books that I said I wanted to read.
Same.
And I was like, oh crap, I have to put that on my list again. So
I will say, I did do the audiobook for A Magic Steeped in Poison.
Yeah.
Since it is a lot of Chinese names, it can get a little confusing, but the narrator did a pretty good job.
that's good. I might have to look that up.
Wait, no, never mind. Sorry. I read the physical copy of the first one and then hopped into the audio of the second one, and I couldn't do it because never mind.
Because never mind.
It was difficult because of you guys were talking about how Jasmine Throne has these specific names that as you read it is how you read it in your brain. But then Jenna did the audiobook for it, so then she heard the names and you're like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
It'll be interesting to have us all talk about it.
Yeah.
Because some of us will use the audiobook name, me. Some of us being me. You guys will all use the other one.
I think, but even then, between us, we could all pronounce things differently.
Yeah.
And
okay.
they are not short, easy names. They're very long.
We were just talking about that with Amina Al-Sarafi, where it's like, they're talking about the name of an island, and I'm all like, I know it's not this name, but this is what I'm saying it in my head.
Yeah.
I know it's not that. And it's not even a hard name. It's just when I read it, I'm all like, that's what I think of. So I'm just going to keep reading it like that and not get stuck on the word.
Yep. That'll be fun. I'm excited for us to eventually do that.
Yes.
Yeah, these are going to be fun episodes when we talk about our books.
Definitely.
I do think that is something I have to say, though. Originally, when we talked about the Sisterhood of the Traveling Books, we were breaking it into quarters. So what we did last year was we had our first book for the first quarter from, January to March, and then March to June we had the next book, and then July to September. And so we broke it into quarters, which made for a very long, I barely remember things I read in January. So
Exactly, which is why I had such an issue with I don't know what my book was about.
right. So
what book did I even do last year?
You did the Inheritance games.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Thanks, Marissa.
Yeah, I bought it for you. You got it.
So yeah, I will say that we looked at that and we did move much faster on getting through these books. We haven't finished them completely, but for the most part, we're definitely more than halfway through our Sisterhood of the Traveling Books, which is what we'd be at right now. We'd be at the halfway mark.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we did better with that, and we moved faster with that, and we obviously stayed on goal for our
We're all on the third book of our.
Angela is waiting for her fourth one.
Yeah.
So once I finish yours and I give it to her, she's done.
She's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
and once
Which
you're done
means
with
mine's
Amina.
the first one we're recording.
I don't think
could
so
be.
because it's taking me 3 weeks to get through your book.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is very long, very dense, but not in a bad way.
I think mine will be the first one we're recording.
I think
only
yours will be.
because that'll be your last one, and it's a very fast book. So.
Yeah, but how much am I going to really want to read this book? Because that's going to be the hard part.
That's true.
It's my last book of required reading.
It is.
It's very fast.
It's a very quick read, yeah. You could probably do it in a weekend if you're dedicated.
All right.
If you're not as frustrated as we were.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But you don't get frustrated till later, so, the beginning of it is nice and creepy, and I think will intrigue you enough.
Okay.
So Angela's last book is going to be The Jasmine Throne, which is your book. I am currently halfway through it, just chipping away at it when I can. I do find myself zoning out. Like, I was thinking about camping, and then I was like, oh, I didn't read this page. Well, I read it, but I didn't absorb it. Yeah. Or then, some reason, I was, like, thinking about spiders at one point while I was reading it. It is...
I don't think there's spiders in the book. Should be okay.
I don't know. It's just my brain was going elsewhere when I was reading it. And now that I finally understand what's going on and, like, rooting for certain characters, I think that's what I needed. And then, so I think it should be pretty easy to get through now.
I almost want to recommend the audiobook to you, just because I feel like the audiobook, it flowed better and I was able to, like, relax with it. But I could see how you could still zone out for things.
My only issue with that is I like the comments, and that's all I'm here for.
True. Yeah, that's true. You're here for the comments.
I'm interested when we are done with it to get it back to remember what comments I made.
Yeah.
Because now that I've read the second one and, like, I know what's going on, I want to go back and be like, okay, what did I think about this book when I first started it?
Now that you're, like, a professional annotator.
Yes.
You have so many comments in this one.
Oh, yeah, compared to Legends and Lattes when I had, like,
you had,
no
like, 4.
comments. Yeah.
So I do, it is so much nicer, like,
the second
feeling your feeling in the book now.
Yeah, the thought process of it all.
And it's so interesting because there are things that I don't pick up on that you guys definitely pick up on faster than me. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, oh, interesting. And then that makes me think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot more this round.
Yeah. I definitely feel more confident annotating this time around, which is cool. I think after reading Eon and being able to read the physical book, it was hard because, as I've talked about before, it's definitely harder with my child. But I think it was worth it because I did get to actually leave the comments and stuff. I wish that I had read Jasmine Throne and been able to jot the comments with Marissa a little more, because I relied on my phone to make my comments and then jot them down. And to be honest, if I'm listening to it, there's times where I just didn't jot my thought down.
Right. Also, then you have to go back and find that specific
that one
or that area.
It was funny because I had, I wish I saved my notes, but I deleted it. It would be like page 1, chapter 2, page 1, paragraph 2, midway through the book. I'd make like a note so I knew where to put it, like this page, right about here, right here. And, but yeah, it's a lot more fun now. And Eon was a lot more fun with your guys' notes. So I'm looking forward to reading Amina Al-Sarafi with the notes.
So you're not going to do audio because you said you've been putting
yes,
deliver 7 days later, 7 days later.
I don't think I am. I think I'm going to do the physical copy. I did get it with Kindle and read a little bit of it. And so I know the tone of the book, and I know that I'm going to enjoy the tone of the book. Yeah. So I think that it'll be fun to write the notes in.
I definitely think you should read this one with the notes, though.
Yeah.
Especially because it's the one with all of our, being the last one, being able to see everybody's comments.
Yeah.
Makes it way different.
That's why I'm hoping next year is I read my book last with all of your guys' comments.
Yeah.
If we're able to do that, I'd like to do that next year.
We could do that.
So that is something that I look forward to. Because when my friend best friend Hannah and I exchange books with each other, it's always with her comments. So I've always been like, that's how I've read the book, is with her annotations. Except she and your book has a sex scene in it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, oh, we're getting intimate here. All 4 of us are going to be reading the same sex scene.
Are just sitting here watching the sex scene play out.
And so when Hannah and I always, after the sex scene, we always just say, okay, that happened.
Okay, that happened.
That's like a joke. But anyway, I'm very excited for us to, hop into our official. We've decided that we're going to do in each episode a singular episode for each book.
Yes.
And just so we can really, really discuss it.
Even though there's a lot to discuss, I think, in all of the books. I mean, obviously, I haven't read Jenna's, and I'm only halfway through.
Yep.
Amina Al-Sarafi, but yeah, I think there's a lot to discuss in each of the books.
I agree.
Yeah.
I also have not read Eon, but yeah. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
There's a lot to discuss in Eon.
There's even more when you read Iona.
She grumbles.
I'm so afraid because Jenna read Iona and she's all like, I don't think you'll like the second one as much as you liked the first one. I'm like, do I want to even try it?
It's one of those things where I feel like I want to be able to talk about both of them. So I want you guys to read the second ones because there's so much that happens. Like, I'm going to have a hard time talking about Eon without talking about what happens in Iona.
Angela's read Iona, right?
Yeah, so me and her have both read it.
Is it just a duology or is it trilogy?
Yeah, just a duology.
Okay. You thought your required reading was done.
I
but
know.
no, you have to add in another.
Have to read Iona.
But it's going to be one of those ones where me and Angela were literally texting back and forth about what happened in Iona. And I was like, I have so much to say. I need to talk about it. But yeah, I don't know. I also think that it'll be good to just talk about Eon.
Okay, guys, goals for next year is we need standalone books.
Standalone books. Let's do more research.
Yeah, do more research, get a standalone book.
Okay, well, it's July, so we have time to come up with what books we want to propose for next year. So let's do a little research, figure out what we want to do.
All right, so going in to
our
a review of what we have done so far.
The have-dones?
The have-dones. What we
not the
have
have-nots.
Not the have-nots, not the what we were planning or what we are planning. But looking back on the past 6.5 months or so, the first prompting question we got was, what has been your top 3 books so far this year? And Megan, I know you already wrote your list, so I'm going to make Megan do it first.
Excellent. I will talk slowly. So my number 1 book so far this year has definitely been The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi, and that is by Shannon Chakraborty. And that one is just really fun. It is definitely, I will say, it takes a while to get into it, about 150 pages, because it's a lot of, like, getting to the start of the adventure. But once you get there, it is so fun. All the characters are quirky. There's even comments that I put in the book where I was like, okay, there's one more chapter left. And it's like 11:30 at night. I'm going to just read one more chapter. And then I went later and I was like, I couldn't do just one more chapter. It's now 1:30 in the morning. That's when you know that it's a really good book, is when you get rid of sleep. You choose sleep. Or wait.
You choose to not sleep.
You choose read over sleep.
You choose to read over sleep, yes. And then my second favorite book so far is one that I actually just finished this past month. And it was my favorite one of the month, and that is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. And that one is about, I think I mentioned it in a previous episode, but that one is about a woman who, right out of college, managed to, like, sell her first book for, like, $1 million, and all of her newest books that she's been able to publish are, like, really, really, like, selling very high. And then her friend from college is very kind of jealous over that. And within the first chapter, the girl ends up choking and dying. So the main character steals her just finished manuscript and publishes it as her own. And it's basically the fallout of, like, that. It's very good. There is no romance in it.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is very good. And it has, I liked this book so much because it was such a huge critique on not only the publishing industry, but, like, the, like, fandom of publishing and fandom of books and stuff, and how there's, like, talks about, like, reviews and how people, like, all books rely so much on reviews. And if you look at the reviews for Yellowface, it's basically the commentary on reviews from the book is, like, in the reviews of the book. It was so meta, but it was really good, and that's one that I think will stick with me for a very long time. She is very much a villain, I would say. Like, the main character is the anti-hero, and I loved that. And my third book is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, and we love a good Alex E. Harrow book. The 10,000 Doors of January is one of our all-time favorite books. We've talked about a lot. And Starling House is a very spooky, like, basically the haunted house at the end of the road with its, like, wrought iron gates and stuff. It's always haunted and there's starlings all over the place. And she is, like, curious and was just like, why have I never been to the house? And then there's a guy who lives there, and I think his name, I don't remember his name. He had a very unique name. And basically she's just like, I'll be your maid in the haunted house. Will you let me? And he's like, what? Fine. Okay. And yeah, there's a lot of mystery and a lot of spookiness, and it is perfect for spooky season, so I'll definitely be talking about it for some Halloween episodes that we do.
Yeah.
And those are my top 3. How about you, Marissa? Are you ready?
I'm gonna kind of cheat on my top 2 because it's going to be the Jasmine Throne and the Oleander Sword. After reading the Jasmine Throne, I literally was out at a Panera Bread, and I was at the end of it, and I was right next to a Barnes & Noble.
Was it the one?
Yeah, it's the one down there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, I'm finishing this book, and there's a second book. So I finished it, drove over to Barnes & Noble, bought the second book, and started reading the second book.
Did you talk about it in the book itself? Where you're just like, oh no, it's almost over. I'm going to run over.
Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think I made that comment. But
that would have been a great comment.
Yeah. But it was definitely one of those, like, as soon as I finished it, I went and picked up the next one because I was it's not like a cliffhanger, so to speak. I mean, it kind of is, but it's just, it was so good, and I was already in that mindset that I'm like, I need to keep going. So, I would say those ones take up my top 2 spots.
Give us a brief summary of it.
So the Jasmine Throne, is brief summary without spoiler.
Sapphic epic fantasy romance without too much romance.
I can do
Indian vibes
because I haven't hit any spoilers.
Basically, what's going on is there's a princess who has been banished, and imprisoned, but imprisoned how a princess gets imprisoned, so she's still kind of a little bit
luxury.
Yeah, in luxury, in this empire that has taken over several different countries. And instead of her being like, oh, I'm so sad, I'm poor, and I'm weak and feeble, she's like, no, I'm planning revenge. And there's another character who has a big secret that I don't want to go too much into, but her past is, very colored, and she's trying to just kind of live a normal life as a maid, and it is not going well for her.
You can say in the very beginning, it talks about the princess. She's the sister of the emperor, and there's something that happened between the two of them, and the emperor tried to get her to sacrifice herself, and that's the whole premise of it. Is he wants her to sacrifice herself on a pyre, and she's like, F that, I'm not doing that.
Because it's part of their religion, and it's all about, like, oh, if you sacrifice yourself, it's all about purity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a good thing, and she refuses to do that, and so because he's mad that she refuses to do that, she's imprisoned. In a place that was burnt down.
Yeah.
That, like, she's literally living in a charred, like, prison.
Yeah. And being drugged. It's a great book that has a lot of themes of feminism and a lot of themes of standing up for oppression and being who you are and not what people tell you to be. So I think it's a really good book in all those senses. And it does have love, but not too much love.
Yeah, I think that's something I definitely like about it. It's sapphic, so of course I picked it up because it was sapphic. But it wasn't about the romance. It was about their journeys and them being strong and independent. I will say that something that usually turns me off about books like this is when the author is going too far into pushing her agenda, and you feel like, stuff like, there's no redeemable, like, male characters or anything. All men are bad or something. And she doesn't do that in this book.
There are so many comments about that, though.
Oh, yeah, no, there's a lot of
hate
comments
all the
on
men
that.
here. I will say, we need to have, like, a scale on sapphic romances, from Priory of the Orange Tree being the most sapphic to Legends and Lattes of being, like, the least. So on a scale of that, where does it fall?
What do you mean by the least sapphic?
As in, like, there was hardly any romance in Legends and Lattes at all, except of them being like, I actually really liked you. And you're like, wait, what? We couldn't tell.
Jasmine Throne, that they don't shy away from it in any way, but it's not like they have a lot of scenes where they're all, like, lovey-dovey or anything like that. It's very much a subtle romance, I would say. Not in the fact of Legends of the Latte where I'm like, I don't even think there's a romance here. But there's very much, like, you can tell there's a romance, but there's bigger issues to deal with.
Okay. Very cool.
But then my third book, it's nonfiction, so I don't know if either of you would read it, but it's called Into Thin Air by John Krakauer, I want to say is how you pronounce his name. But it is his first-hand account of climbing Mount Everest.
Yeah, my parents had that one.
Yeah, when the big storm hit and a bunch of people died, obviously, and but he survived it. He made it to the top. He made it to the summit and survived the big storm. I watched the movie. I can't remember what the movie was called, but it's got, I think, Josh Brolin in it.
I didn't even know there was a movie.
Yeah. Movie's pretty good. I like the movie a lot, but it made me really want to read the book, and I read the book, and the book's even better, because it's very much that, like, gritty, like, everybody has that idea of, like, oh, I'm going to climb Everest, and all of these people are mountaineers. They've climbed hundreds of mountains, not hundreds, but they've climbed a bunch of mountains, so it's not like they're amateurs in any way, and it's not like, oh, I'm just going through a midlife crisis, so I'm going to climb Everest. Like, you have to prepare for it. And, I don't know, I like books like that, because it puts me in that situation without actually having to be in that situation. Yes. And it has convinced me never to climb Mount Everest. But, yeah, no, it was a great book. I did do audiobook for that. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, just because the narrator's that generic narrator, like the generic male voice narrator that's very flat. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it unless you're okay with that. But I definitely recommend reading that book if you're into nonfiction and you want to read about that story, especially a first-hand account of it. I think it was a great one.
That's awesome. I love that Marissa always comes in with the nonfiction.
I got to, because I got to represent the people that actually read nonfiction.
No, it's great. Honestly, I think that you reading nonfiction makes me want to read nonfiction more, because I'm like, oh, that sounds so interesting. I just always have to be in that right mindset for it, you know? But there are a lot of people out there that do prefer nonfiction, or, you know, prefer both, but will lean towards nonfiction sometimes. And if we don't give them options, how are they going to learn? How are they going to know? That's okay. I feel like I'm learning that my favorite books are, well, right now, are kind of the contemporary romance novels lately.
Yeah, it's summer. That's like contemporary romance novel season.
Yeah, exactly. And I forget how much I just enjoy them. They're quick, they're easy reads, and usually they're very quirky and funny if done well, and they'll leave you like laughing and pining a little bit, and it's just it's a good quick punch that you know what you're getting into. So I feel like I'm the opposite of Marissa in that way. So for mine, my top favorite book would be The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. And that book was, I freaking love her. We spent an entire episode trying to convince Marissa to read Dead Romantics. It's set in the Dead Romantics world, and you only know that because you briefly see the people from Dead Romantics.
I love when they do that.
It follows Clementine is her name, and she inherited her aunt's apartment. And it starts in the beginning, and she talks about how her aunt was like, this apartment is magic, but you can't tell anyone or else the magic might not happen for you. Then one day she wakes up in her aunt's apartment and things are very familiar, and it's set up exactly how she remembers her aunt having her apartment, even though she's redecorated and has all these boxes and took down all her aunt's stuff. And there's a guy standing over her and like shaking her awake, and she's like, what is happening? And so it turns out that like the apartment slipped into the past 7 years. And it's a year that she had gone to Europe with her aunt for the summer. And this guy is subletting the apartment. And then he learned like her aunt had this happen to her before too, and fell in love with another woman from 7 years in her past and stuff like that.
I will say, because you told me please read this book, and I have not read it all the way. I started it at the gym because I wanted to put something in front of me while I was
Two gay women. 2 lesbians. That's all I have to say. Sorry.
I know,
2 lesbian couples. Sorry. Continue.
So I started it at the gym. I got it on my phone. I put it on the stair climber machine and was trying to read it while I was doing the stair climber. And I think my problem was I was just trying to find something to distract me from actually having to work out. But she was talking to her lesbian friends at the
Yes.
very beginning of the book, and she was talking about her breakup. And the way she was describing her breakup, I was like, man, this would be perfect for just an asexual character. And I'm like, but I know it's not an asexual
You're
character
reading a
because
romance
it's a
book.
romance novel. So I'm like, I can't read this book right now because all I could think of is she'd make a perfect asexual character.
It's funny that you say that because the book that I had started before I realized, oh crap, I have to be reading Murder of Mr. Wickham, so I kind of put it on pause. Was the Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood, and the character in that book thinks she's asexual, but it's obviously going to turn into. But because of all of her feelings, she's just like, I don't think that I have any. I think I am asexual, and her friend, the guy that she's fake dating that she does not fall in love with, interestingly in the book, is asexual. So he's like hires her as his girlfriend to pretend like he has a girlfriend because his family gives him a hard time because he's asexual and aromantic.
I would say that's the difference too, is the aromantic part of it. I think because you can be asexual and still be in a relationship.
Yeah.
But the asexual aromantic.
Yeah.
They say aro ace.
Yeah.
Is like that's where it's
no
connection as far as romance or sexuality.
Yeah, that's
goes.
the main character or the side character in this is Arrow Ace, I think.
Yeah.
Those people have better things to do.
Yeah, they're like, I don't want anything to do with anyone.
They focus on the plot.
Yes.
Okay?
They're here for the plot. But yeah,
so that was number one.
Yeah. Side note, that's number one.
So in 100 words or less.
In 100 words or less. No, actually I was gonna say my number two, I would probably say Jasmine Throne / Oleander Sword. And I'm
what
counting
was
those
it
as one.
about?
Yeah. Those, so I used all my words from number one, for number two and number one. That's all I'm working.
You have 5 characters left.
I really liked those. Those were really good books. And I know Megan's kind of struggling to get into it, but by the time you're
I'm into it now.
Yeah, by the time you're like in that like fully immersed world, it's like it's really hard to walk away from, and I really wanted the third book.
Once you start understanding it, and
Yeah.
Megan and I are constantly comparing it to the Priory of the Orange Tree, because it is one of those, like, you're trying to learn what this world is, and then once you understand the world, you can't get enough of
Right.
The Deathless Waters, the oranges from the orange tree.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Oh. Now I have to read
a
Priory.
princess / queen with their handmaid.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Very similar.
Except I will say that was the issue that I had with so far up until in Jasmine Throne, up until right now, was comparing it to Priory of the Orange Tree. So I assumed that everyone was like spread out really far away and they were not all concentrated in this one area. And it wasn't until last night or like the night before last that I realized that they were all in the same area.
For the most part, yeah.
And so I was
For
like,
the first book, definitely.
Yeah, for the first book, yeah.
I was very confused by that because I thought certain things that did happen to specific characters was like really far away and had nothing to do with these other characters. But then I realized, oh, no, this happened because of this and this.
Yeah.
Because of this one specific incident. So
Oh
I
my
was like,
god,
okay.
I want to just get into sketch house, but I almost just went, like, when you figure out, I was like, hold
No.
on.
Stop.
Almost.
Go back.
Almost. We'll see how long it takes Angela to read.
Yeah. That'll
be the
Yeah.
ticker.
I will say though, she did binge both my book and your book in like a 2-week span. So she's got the stamina.
Yeah.
She also had she was like, I have to finish this before I go on vacation.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
That's true.
My third one, though, I would say is back to the rom-com thing. And I think at the end of the year last year, I talked about B.K. Borison, which was actually a recommendation from a girl at Barnes & Noble. She suggested the Love Lights Farm series.
Oh, right. The
And-
Christmassy one.
Yeah. So I remember telling you guys, like, I just loved it. It was very feel-good rom-com. Didn't tie into all the stuff that it feels like a lot of the rom-coms do nowadays. And just felt really good. Megan would freaking love it because it was a friends to lovers
Oh, it's
thing.
my
And it was done
favorite.
so well that I was like in love with it. And so the funny thing is that I waited till Christmas because I was like, oh, it's a Christmassy feel. I'm going to read this one. Well, then, just recently in last month, I was like starting my rom-com phase, but I was going down the TikTok famous ones, and they have long loan times. So I had been like, oh, let me go back to BK Borison. And so I did the second one of that. And weirdly, it takes place in spring. So I was like, not summer, but close. So I can take care of it. But that was a second chance romance. And
I love those too.
And I loved it. It was so good. These are all tropes that I'm pretty sure I told you in our trope episode that I did not enjoy. And she wrote them so well that I do like them. And this one, the male main character, they don't say he's autistic, but he has a lot of those tendencies. Like he gets really overwhelmed with a lot of noises. He is very smart on his specific things and very, very knowledgeable. But he'd obviously be very high functioning. But he like it's funny because at one point he has like this big boisterous family full of a lot of sisters or whatever, and they make a comment about his family dinners. They bought him little earmuffs to put over his ears, and they're like pink fuzzy earmuffs that start as a joke, but he wears them because it's so overwhelming for him to hear all the noise and stuff. And I was just like, I loved it so much because he also was a big guy.
The gardener in the background.
Yeah. He was a big guy with lots of tattoos, and like the entire town like lusts after him, but like
big fluffy earmuffs.
Yeah,
earmuffs.
but he's also like this like softie who's
Very
and it was
fair.
just so it was so well written because it's not that character arc isn't used, but it was just done so differently enough that I enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, it doesn't feel like every other stoic man who has tattoos and is gruff and pushy, and you know, it felt different, and I really liked it. So I'm looking forward to reading more of BK Borison's books, and I'm gonna go hit up all the Barnes and Noble girl and be like, all right, tell me your others. Give me your others, because I need someone other than just the Elena Armises and Allie Hazelwoods that I'm reading, and Ashley Poston, who's wonderful.
Even though she just had a book come out.
Yeah, I'll be reading that, don't worry. I actually kind of thought about that for next year, is the novel Love Story, and making that be our annotation one, because when I was reading 7 Year Slip, I wanted to annotate to you guys so badly. And I was like, that would force Marissa to read one.
That is
Has to read Ashley Poston.
The Dead Romantics, I think, is one I annotated for Hannah.
Yeah.
And that book made me cry so many times that I think when I sent it to her, there was like you know, tears marks all over the pages because I cried so much.
Yeah, that one made me cry a couple times.
Well, going into it, as far as books coming out that we want to read, are there any books upcoming that you're excited for?
The Third Jasmine Throne.
Yes, that's mine too. November. The
Counting
Third
down the
Jasmine
days.
Throne.
I also am looking forward to the novel Love Story by Ashley Poston, which just came out. And I do want to read that one really badly.
It doesn't even have to be coming out this year, just books on your
On your
TBR that
TBR.
you want to read this year or hopefully get to this year.
So I have one, but I'm very confused because it has two titles. So it's The Crimson Moth by Kristen Ciccarelli, but I don't. So I got the Fairy Loot version, and it's titled The Crimson Moth, but everyone who talks about it, it's called Heartless Hunters Book 1. But then when I'm looking at like the series name is called Crimson Moth, so I'm really confused. Crimson.
I think I remember reading about this on one of our social media things. It's like it had two different names. Like the Crimson Moth is what they use overseas for some reason, and Heartless Hunters is what they have over here.
Okay, so then they would be the same.
Yeah.
The same name, because if you type in Crimson Moth,
It's not
okay, so it says, but even their descriptions are different. It says a steamy game of cat and mouse between witch and witch hunter played out against the backdrop of opulent secrets and bloody history. And the other one was like, and enemies to lovers, something, which I guess
It's
is
the same thing. It's just slightly different wording.
So I want to read that one, and I've had that one on my shelves for a couple months now. And then one that is coming out that I am so excited for is the next Adventure Zone comic book, the graphic novel for the Adventure Zone. And it's number 6, The Suffering Game, which was, I think, my second favorite arc of that one. No, third favorite. Because my first favorite was the murder mystery on the train. And I think that was The Murder on the Rockport Limited. And then I liked the one that came out last year, which was the one where they had to go back in time a bunch, because I love me some time travel. And that was The 11th Hour was that one. And so this one I think is my third one. And that's one where they just get beat up a bunch. That's why it's called The Suffering Game. So those are my two that I'm excited for. One is a TBR and one is coming out.
I'm also excited. It's already out, and I think Megan had sent me something about it, and I think I've talked about it before, and I thought it was going to be something that I read much faster because I was going to take a palate cleanser, but then I went down this contemporary romance phase, The Five Broken Blades by Mike Orland, and that's like the ragtag team assembled to do something. I think they're supposed to be killing an immortal king or emperor or something in this one. Six of Crows vibes, I think. But I have seen, everything I've seen of it has said it's like one of the best books this year, so I'm really excited for that one.
Same thing with Crimson Moth. I have not seen a single negative review about it. How about you?
I got a few that I just recently, because basically we're getting close to reading or going over The Murder of Mr. Wickham, so I was looking up, okay, what books do I want us to read in the future? So these aren't necessarily the ones. I could give us the preview of the one that I did pick, but when I was going through thinking of books I wanted to read and what we might read together, I found this book. I read the sample of it, so I don't think it'd be good for all of us to read together, but it's called How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying.
I like it.
By Django Wexler. Which is basically like a Groundhog Day book of this person is stuck in a time loop of trying to defeat the Dark Lord.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And then decided, well, if you can't beat him, join him or become him. And it's like a big comedy of that.
Oh, that is totally my jam.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
we're definitely doing that one.
It's not that one.
Dang it. Okay.
But the one that I did choose is kind of similar to that. And if we want to give a quick little preview for that, I can say it, or we can wait until next episode. So yeah, so look forward to Dreadful. Probably will not actually finish it this year because we got so much required reading by the end of the year.
Yeah.
But if we do get to it before the end of the year, that is our next book, and we will keep you posted as far as
when it's gonna come out,
when it'll come out, when we finish it, and when it'll come out. But the next question. I'm skipping. Are there any tropes you discovered? Because I did not discover any tropes, unless you did.
You know, the funny thing is that I didn't discover tropes. I think that the funny thing is that I was tested on my, you don't like these tropes? Well, let's try it again. And I found that I did like them if they were done really well. So it's just that sometimes they're overdone.
Yeah, I think that is. And I think
although I do like the lately sharing an apartment, like temporary roommate thing going on, so I like those.
And that's part of the reason why I chose the book Dreadful, was because it talked about how it's going to take all of the high fantasy tropes and kind of turn them on their head.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, the princess that needs saving, but we'll see how that actually goes.
Yeah. Megan, were there any tropes that you found that you liked that you didn't expect to like?
I did.
Ooh.
Well,
or you didn't know?
Just new ones that I discovered this year that I enjoyed. The undercover famous person.
Oh.
Where the CIA
Prince
or like
Charming and Rogers and Hammerstein Cinderella.
Yes.
Was he undercover?
Like they meet in the very,
that
very beginning, and he's like, I just got to be a commoner. Yeah. For a second.
No, he is, the CIA needs, this famous, singer to help them catch the big bad. So they recruit him to go undercover to, like, sing for his daughter and catch the big bad. And I absolutely loved it. And that was Stars and Smoke by Mary Lou, which I just recently finished. And the second one just came out as well last month. And I'm so excited to get it. And I have so many books I want to buy. And I'm so excited for that one as well. I assume he goes undercover again in the second one.
Maybe.
So yeah. And then the other one is Pampered Princess Kicks Butt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You guys were just talking about Princess One.
Yeah.
What was that one?
Well, that was the Dreadful.
Okay.
So it's supposed to take all the tropes and turn them on their head, so I'm curious to see how they do that.
Maybe
like they have the princess that needs help in the dungeon and see what that turns into. But I mean, it doesn't because she's not, but it reminds me of the Jasmine Throne as far as, like, she's still being defiant.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not the one that's going to be pushed around by people. I make my own decisions. So.
Right.
Yeah. The one I got this from was Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sulin Tan.
Mm-hmm.
And she's the daughter of the moon goddess. And in order to, like, protect herself, she basically joins the, like, celestial army and kicks butt at it. And it was so good.
Nice.
I really enjoyed that. I need to read the Heart of the Sun Warrior. That's also on my list for this year, which is the second one. So yeah.
Next thing we were bringing up, well, the next one technically is how are we doing on the book exchange?
Great.
I think we all have said.
Yes, we're doing super good.
We're fabulous.
We're ahead. We're doing great. Megan and I are in the groove with our books, so be finishing those up soon, hopefully.
I'm just waiting on that book for you, and then we'll be done.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I already have Eon, so once I finish yours, I do have a book I'm annotating because I'm seeing Hannah at the end of the month, so I need to hop right into that one, and then I'll hop into Eon, and that should be pretty good.
It's funny because me and Angela just have one book to read, and you guys both have
1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
Speaking of having to finish books, the other question that we had was, were there any books this year that you did not finish, and are you planning on finishing them?
I did.
I think personally for me, so many books I have not finished, and I do plan on finishing them, but I didn't finish because we had so much required reading that it's like I would start it and I'm like, no, I have to read this book. So I'd go back to the required reading and not go back to the one that I had.
So it's not
I've started
official DNF, yeah.
It's not I didn't finish it because I didn't like this book. It was I didn't finish it because I had other things I needed to do.
Right.
And I feel sad about that because there's a lot of books that I've started that I need to finish because I really liked them, but just haven't gotten there yet. So my goal is by the time I finish Jenna's book, The Unmaking June Farrow, I'm taking some time to just be like, I am not doing required reading.
We deserve it.
I think so.
And I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
for me, I did not finish A Study in Drowning, and I didn't finish it because I realized it would not make a good annotation book for us to all talk about. I want to go back and give it a go. I wasn't enthralled by it from what I read of it. It might take me a while if I do that, but I do want to read more of Ava Reed's stuff. She has a book about Lady Macbeth coming out that I'm really excited for, and I want to try her stuff. So I do want to try her other things. I just I think a mix of realizing that it wouldn't be a good annotation book for us, and realizing that it wasn't enthralling me at the time when I started reading it will probably keep me from picking it up again for a while. And then I signed up for the Fairy Loot Romantasy boxes, and I tried to read the first one, The Lore of the Wilds, and I don't enjoy it.
oh.
So I have not finished that one. I left that as a DNF.
And you'll never go back to it?
And I don't think so. I'd have to really be like, oh, whatever happened with that plot that I was remembering for me to go back to it, which is a bummer. But because I have the nice, beautiful version of it on my shelf.
Some books are just aesthetic.
Yeah, it might just be an aesthetic one for me.
That's what some books that I have on my shelves.
Yeah.
Even though, some I enjoyed, some I didn't. Some of them are just aesthetics.
Yeah. So far, I'm a little concerned about the romantasy books because thus far I have not seen amazing things from any of the ones coming out yet. Except for I do think the one that came out this month, which I unfortunately actually skipped, not realizing I skipped it. So I didn't get it. The Nectar of the Wicked or something, I think is what it is.
Ooh.
I've heard some good things about that, so I'm curious about that one, but we'll see.
The one I have DNF'd, and I think it's the only one I DNF'd this year, is And Break the Pretty Kings by Lena Jung. And that was one I was so excited for because it's Korean folktale history retelling with like magic and a kick-butt MC. The only problem is I did the audiobook, but looking at the reviews on Goodreads, it is all pretty much the same. Nobody knew what the heck was going on. Like, she has to like go into this other world to save her world. And then while she's there, she like meets a guy, but he's like the evil guy. But then she somehow teams up with him, and everyone's just like, I don't understand why. When he's supposed to be like the one she's supposed to defeat, but then suddenly there's no like motivation. The characters weren't really written very well. I was really excited for that one, so I gave up on that one pretty quickly because when you do audiobooks, you tend to miss a bunch of stuff, which is fine. It is what it is, but it comes with the territory, if you will. When you really just have no idea what's going on,
Yeah.
and you go, and I went onto Goodreads and looked, and it was just like nobody knew, even those that read the actual book knew what was going on. It's like, okay, it's not just the readers. So, yep, that's the only one that I've DNF'd this year so far. I do have a couple, like Soul of Stars by Ashley Poston, which is the second Heart of Iron book that we got in Owl Crate forever ago. I never finished the second one, and I started it, and I still haven't finished it because required reading. And then another one, I think it's Seven Faceless Saints. I haven't finished that one either. Yeah, Seven Faceless Saints by M.K. Lobb, and I really, really liked the world of that one, and I would love to go back to it and finish it, especially because the second one has come out recently as well. Yeah. But that one was like way back in January that I started reading that one, and it's been a hot minute since I finished it. So
I knew that the quote, the book that I did my quote for this episode was not going to be a book that you were going to read, and now I just really know it, just because it is a very confusing book.
Okay, I'm all for confusing books. I mean, obviously, we talked about Jasmine Throne, and Pride of the Orange Tree is very confusing in the beginning. Mm-hmm. The only thing that, like, we talked about in our Owl Crate book episode, books that are just surreal. Yeah. And I have no idea what's going on. That's when I draw the line, where it's, if you're surreal for the sake of being surreal, like, what was that one with the chicken? It was the Vasa Baba Yaga. Yeah, Vasa in the Night. Yeah. Ugh, I didn't understand anything that was going on in that one because it was meant to be surreal.
That's kind of how this one is, because one's all about time travelers.
I love time travel.
Different universes.
I love different universes.
But it's not like a very clear, like, okay, now we're in this universe.
They don't tell you. Okay.
Yeah, you're just like in that universe with the person. And it's very short. I'm enjoying the book right now because I'm currently reading it. So I haven't finished it, so it's hard to recommend it if you haven't finished it. But I've been really enjoying it. But it is one of those, it's more of a commentary on people rather than a following the storyline type book.
I did read The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, and that was one where, like, you are a spirit and you jump between different bodies of the same day to figure out who killed Evelyn Hardcastle. So it's like 7.5 deaths. And so you have to, like, solve the murder and stuff, and that one was so confusing because you don't know who you're going into. And so then the like, you as the spirit had to, like, figure out who was who and what they had to do. And I don't think that they could, like, control the person.
That's kind of how this one is okay. It's not like, it's not that they can't control the person, but, like, the form that they take is different than what you think. Okay. I think one of them's definitely, like, I'm starting to get to a point where they're kind of explaining a bit more of, like, what these creatures are, so to speak, as far as, like, it's more of a consciousness that is going through the different timelines and stuff. Yeah. But, yeah. It's something I'm still trying to piece together how it all works.
Okay. Report back later. Tell us how it is.
Yeah. So, go back to the questions, because I was listening and not thinking about what we're talking about. Are there any books that you specifically recommend to each other?
I think both of you guys would love the 7-Year Slip. I think you both would like it.
I know I will.
Yeah. Honestly, the funny thing is I know that you guys will like all the little rom-coms that I recommend. Definitely B.K. Borison for Megan. Mm-hmm. I think that she will love B.K. Borison's fun, easy little rom-coms. And then I'm going to be honest, as I was looking back, a good majority of the books that I've read this year have been required reading. So
you deserve a break, Jenna.
I deserve a break.
We all do.
We're going to take a break. But yeah, so those little rom-coms, I think Megan will really enjoy them. I really need Marissa to read more Ashley Poston because I think that she will enjoy them.
You say more. I haven't read a single Ashley
More
Poston.
meaning 1, 2, 3.
Not even Heart of Iron? You didn't read Heart of
I
Iron?
haven't read anything.
Oh. Every single one of her books that I have read between her Geekerella series, which is contemporary.
Yeah.
And then her sci-fi series, which is the Heart of Iron. And then her fantasy series, which is Among Beasts and Briars, which was meh. And then now her adult romance series. She's just a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just all filled with, I will say, outside of Priory of the Orange Tree, it is all filled with so much representation.
Yeah.
For everything you could possibly think of.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Yeah. Definitely read The Princess and the Fangirl, because that is the lesbian romance, the contemporary lesbian romance. But do you think they have to read Geekerella to get into that?
I mean, I think that if you wanted to read the whole series, like,
They are separate.
I mean,
they just have their crossovers that she always has.
you know the ending of Cinderella?
That's the
It
only
ends.
thing you got.
There you go.
What
But,
a way.
But yeah, so I mean, it's up to you if you'd want to read the first one, but I think that you could jump into that one and still go back and enjoy Geekerella if you decided you liked it. Especially if you're in that feeling of wanting the kind of young adult. It's not high school because there's literally nothing in high school at the
they're
time.
all it's at a convention.
It's at a Comic-Con, so it could be it. I think they are high school students, but it doesn't feel too high school.
I don't think, because it's the actress and then No, I'm getting my books confused. There is still a lesbian couple in there, but there's also, because it's based on the two people that look like each other and they swap places.
Yeah.
That's the Princess and the Pauper.
Oh, I was going to say the 12th night of it.
Yeah, there you go.
But, yeah, those were cute. They were fun. But yeah, there's all sorts of representation. It's great. It's wonderful. So I need Marissa to read those, but she does definitely have to be in the right mindset, I know. So What about you guys? Is there anything you recommend specifically to each other?
Megan, the Oleander Sword.
Megan, all of the Jasmine Throne. I was gonna say it's one I DNF'd, and I'd mentioned it. This might actually make it incongruent. I don't remember when I mentioned this as I read it, so it might be incongruent right now. I am curious for you to read it to see what you think as a different perspective, but The Honey Witch.
Oh yeah,
because like I said, I haven't finished it yet, and I think it's cute. I think it's they've got the best friend that's the guy that's just a really cool guy. It is sapphic, so, and it's supposed to be kind of a enemies to lovers type thing, like not necessarily maybe enemies.
Rivals.
Like I said, haven't finished it, but like one of them definitely is like almost seems mean at first. But there's got to be something, because obviously they're gonna
boink.
Yeah, something's gonna happen there. So I'm curious for you to read that one. I wouldn't say it's like you have to read it this year, but
whenever I get to it.
Yeah.
It's not required reading.
No. And then Jenna, you were the one that actually said I should read it, but you hadn't read it yet, was the Especially Earnest.
I was gonna say Jasmine Throne.
And Jenna, I recommend the Jasmine Throne. Jenna, I recommend The Adventures of Mina Sarabi.
I do.
Especially Earnest by Molly Horan. I personally, because I like The Importance of Being Earnest so much, was a little bit disappointed in some parts of it because I wanted it to be more like The Importance of Being Earnest. But it was fun. It was cutesy. It was high school romance. It was very gay. But
Very gay.
Very gay. It was two gay couples, so.
Mine for Marissa is City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaefer. And that one is the one where nightmares are real. So if you have a nightmare, you turn into that thing. So if people have like a fear of spiders and they have a nightmare about spiders, they will turn into a spider.
That's
horrible.
So basically the MC's sister, that happened to her, she turned into a spider, ate the dad, and the sister is like traumatized by that. So she's afraid of literally everything. She's afraid of just nightmares itself. So if there's a guy who like turned into this humanoid lizard, a la with the guy from Spider-Man or whatever, she sees that person and she is terrified of them just because she knows that they're a nightmare.
Yeah.
Some people can like turn into like superpowered beings or something. So it just depends. And I recommend that one because there's no romance in it. There's like friendship.
Yeah.
So the main girl, the main guy, they just, spoiler alert for the end of the second one, they just have a friendship at the end, which is what I loved because it was so refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
And you see her go from like this terrified person to like kind of understanding that not all nightmares are bad and some are good, but there's still like politics going on and like evil guys doing stuff, and she's not the chosen one to stop that from happening. She's just living in a city that is run by nightmares and is just like, I need to survive.
Nice.
So I recommend that one. It's very good. And it's only a duology. It is completed, so you can read them both. And yeah, I liked that one. And then for Jenna I've talked about this one a lot, A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. And that one is a bard. He goes back to his island, which is very Scottish inspired, and has to basically sing for the spirits because the island's previous bard has passed away. So that's like his job now, is to sing for the spirits to make sure that their harvest is good, that there's no animosity, but because it's like rival clans, they have to like stop the rival clan from pillaging them, and so they're trying to like make peace and stuff. So, and that one is also a duology, and it is finished, and you know Rebecca Ross now, so
no, I like her writing.
you're
So.
good. Yeah, this one is very pretty. Even just like the quotes that I came up with are just all about like love and like falling in love and how that love can like splinter or like heal over wounds and stuff. Yeah, that was really good.
Okay. It's on my TBR, so it's just gonna have to move up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna say this last one. We'll be pretty quick about it because we've been going for a while now. But what goals do we have? Personal goals that we've created since the beginning of the year that we have for the end of the year. Any personal goals, Megan?
Obviously just keep writing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to really get back into my writing. I had 3 months of not working because I was laid off and then got hired again at a rival company for my previous one. So I want to focus, even though my job is writing for that company, I'd like to do like keep up with my personal writing and make a more habit about it. I'd also like to draw more. I haven't drawn anything this year, and that used to be my thing, was a lot of art. And reading wise, obviously keep up with, going through my TBR, having a planner that's all about like reading and tracking your books and filling in prompts and stuff. Really keeps me motivated for that. So this month is all about like, okay, the specific like page of all of these prompts, you have to find like certain things on the cover. So I went in and wrote them all down of books that I have on my shelves that match those prompts. I want to get at least 4 of those done this month. So, and finish the Jasmine Throne.
Hey,
And I'll probably do audiobook for Oleander Sword.
fair enough. That's
So,
fine.
yeah.
Because I mean, I didn't annotate my Oleander Sword.
Right.
I thought about it, and I probably should have, but I did not do it.
Also, the thick floppiness of your book is so hard to handle reading, especially right before bed.
It's
Yes.
fine. I understand. What about you, Jenna? Personal goals?
I just want to get back into actually writing, finding time to sit down and be able to write. And then I'd like to read more books that aren't required reading,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I think I've gone through this contemporary romance phase too, because they're quick, easy reads, and I kind of can. They're not anything that I have to read, so they're things that I can just kind of be completely absorbed in, and then move on to the next one. So. And then I'd really like to promote us, guys.
Oh, yeah.
I really do want I want to make some stuff to get us out there, and I'd like to start going around to local bookstores and bookstores in the area and start being able to kind of talk about us and get some recommendations so that we can bring something new to this podcast that's not just over talked about.
Yeah.
I think one of the goals is to focus on the podcast a little bit more. It's been very fun doing it, and especially now that we're getting close to our 1 year mark, coming up at the end of this year, it'll be really nice to have I don't know, it's not just a fun little pet project anymore. It's kind of actually turning into a whole thing. So
Yeah. We We joked, I was even saying before we started recording, I was saying to Marissa that we joked about, oh, this is just a casual thing, but now I think we're all at that point where we want it to be like a little bit more serious and a little bit more like
get the word out there more and have
Yeah.
more following. Yeah.
it'd be nice.
So yeah, focusing on that. My goal is to finish the required reading that I have, which should, I think, only be the 2 books. For
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5 books for our annotations. And once that's done, I'm going to go back and finish the books that I started and not finish.
Yes.
So those are my goals, is to go back and finish the books I started. And then writing wise, I do want to get back into it. But I don't want to put too much pressure on me for that. So I think just going back and editing once, what I do have and finishing up that, change that I had to make to finish the book.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'll finish that by the end of the year, but that'd be really nice if I can. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it for this, guys.
Yeah.
We've been going on for quite a while, so might as well
Thanks for sticking around.
wrap it up.
We appreciate you.
Before we sign off, what is everybody reading right now, Megan?
I'm reading The Jasmine Throne.
Of course you are.
Yep, as said before, I'm halfway through that. And then I'm also, for audiobook, I am doing These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. And that one, I have like an hour left on the audiobook, so I will probably finish it on my ride home today.
I'm listening to The Murder of Mr. Wickham, because I'm the slacker and I should have had that finished by this week, and I did not. And I was reading Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I'm like halfway through that, so I guess as far as reading goes, that's still what I'm reading.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because next week is The Murder of Mr. Wickham. So if our listeners have not finished that book yet, like Jenna, make sure you finish that book, so that you can join us for our discussion and not be spoiled on anything, because it is a murder mystery, so we will be talking about who done it,
yes,
who did it. So yeah, I am also doing the required reading of The Adventures of Mina al-Sarafi. Halfway through that, a little bit less than halfway through that, but I'm now chugging along. But I also started reading a book on my phone at work, because I can't bring Amina al-Sarafi to work.
In the gym?
Yeah, in the gym. Actually, I haven't read this one at the gym yet, but I probably would. But it's called This Is How You Lose the Time War, by Max Gladstone.
My brain wanted to turn that into is it the NSYNC song? This is how we do it. Is it NSYNC or Backstreet Boys? And then, of course, the Time War, and then I was like, okay, the Time Warp. So now this is, let's do the Time Warp.
War. But that's basically a book, like I was telling Megan, where these two entities that travel through time and different parallel universes to try to sabotage each other, because they're on opposite sides of the war, start leaving little like love letters to each other.
That's so cute.
And they do it in like their own like different types of languages. So it's like at one point they're staring at a tree that's being torn down, and they can read based off of the rings on the tree the message that they leave.
Wow.
And then you get the little notes that they get. But it's really cleverly written, and I like it. And I think the first, like, when you read the definition of it, like the first letter was the character finds a note that says burn before reading. So
That's cute.
Yeah. It's really good, really confusing, but I'm liking it a lot so far.
Wait, burn before reading?
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's a really good one. Alright. If there's nothing else, I think we're moving on to our quote to finish it off.
Which is by Ashley Poston.
And I
From the 7-year slip.
Is it really? Our quote, which is by Ashley Poston from the 7-year slip. I loved how a book, a story, a set of words, and a sentence organized in the exact right order made you miss places you'd never visited and people you've never met.
I love her.
That's a very good quote.
Okay.
Jenna, where can they find us on the socials and medias?
Socials and medias. Find us on Facebook or Instagram, the Braless Bug Killed Podcast. And obviously rate, review, and subscribe. You're listening to us probably through either Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Amazon Music. But recommend us to your friends. Send them And even if you want to, you can email us. We have brawlessbookguild@gmail.com. So if you have recommendations, you can email us there, comment on things, just overall connect with us. We really want to hear what you guys think, what you guys like about this, and books that you recommend for us, especially now, we are going in a year. You know our tastes a little bit more. What do you think we should read?
Yeah, definitely. All right, any parting words, Megan?
Thanks for sticking around. Look forward to hearing what everyone thinks about The Murder of Mr. Wickham. So don't forget to read it before next week.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Until next time.
Next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.